What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another War Thunder video. Today we're going to take a look at the QF 3.7 RAM. This is a brand new premium tank destroyer for the British. This is a rewards vehicle as part of the Operation F.R.O.S.T event. This is actually a pretty good vehicle, but it's got some limitations. We're going to start off with what those are. First of all, -5 degrees of gun depression, meaning if a target is lower than you, you're going to have issues with engaging it without exposing yourself. An ideal tank gun depression would be like -10, and those are few and far between for some nations. This vehicle will have some challenges on some terrain. Secondly, the turret rotation is very slow. Very, very slow. So what you're going to want to do with this is to take a more reserved sniping spot. You're going to be camping a lot in this vehicle, I think. Thirdly, the crew are exposed. You see here in the X-ray, 5 crew members on the top gun platform. 2 are down in the hull. These 5 guys on top are very easily killable, not only from aircraft, but anyone on the ground who has a machine gun can just 50 cal you to death, because this front gun shield only offers 10 millimeters of protection. Yeah. That being said, the thin armor is actually not so terrible, because if you can actually survive a main shell shot pretty regularly. Actually, I found the survivability of this from normal engagements to be pretty good. You'll lose crew members, but because you have a total of 7 crew members, they're pretty easily replaceable. Unlike the German VFW, these sides do not come up at all. So these are the crew members are always exposed. They're never protected, which is unfortunate. Now the gun itself is a 94 millimeter cannon, and it doesn't have any sort of high explosive filler, but it does have a very good high penetrating shell. You can pen just about anything at this tier. At 5.0, you're going to see a wide variety of vehicles. The HE shell is nothing fancy about that. Personally, I wouldn't even take them. Maybe 1 or 2 if you're going to go up against a little potato truck or something, but even that, I would just use this and aim for the engine and try to hull break it. Alright, let's get into some gameplay, shall we? We are on Karelia, Domination. This was literally my first battle with the RAM. And I decided to put on bushes. I would not recommend putting on bushes, because they just get in the way visually. As you can see, I tried to use binoculars there, and just everything on this tank seems to get in its own way when using binoculars. The bushes get in the way, the gun shield gets in the way, the gun breech gets in the way, the crew members will sometimes get in the way. You'll notice a theme, just everything gets in the way. With -5 degrees of gun depression, I had to expose myself a little bit more than I wanted to. There's a Sherman over here. Take out his transmission, but I ended up taking a shot from someone else. Try to see what it was, but again, everything just gets in the way. I can't look at it through the binoculars, so I have to pull back and repair. I couldn't even see what the heck I was being hit by. I could just kind of get a rough idea as to what it is, just through the third-person view, but I can't get a close view because of the binocular issue. Now, the reload rate on this vehicle is 7.8 seconds for people who have no crew skills. I actually have expert crew, but because I have a vehicle test drive as part of Gaijin's partnership, all that crew skill doesn't really mean anything, so I still have the basic 7.8 second reload rate. And that's something to mention, because some YouTubers have mentioned that the reload rate is too long. And it's only too long because of the test drive issue. Because the test drive doesn't take into account the crew skill on the vehicle. So that's something to take into account for those of you who are listening to commentary from people on Twitch or YouTube. The reload rate on this vehicle is actually not that bad. Trying to see anything that I can over here, hoping I can get a sneakier shot. Almost got it, but again, not quite. This ridgeline is not working out quite as well as I had anticipated. The lack of gun depression, combined with the lack of large rocks to protect me, has led to some challenges. That doesn't mean we're going to do okay over here, because there's another vehicle up top. We're able to take him out with a single shot. Again, some people are going to raise issue with the fact that this doesn't have any high explosive filler, but for the most part, I'm able to one-shot a lot of the vehicles that I engage. The only thing that I haven't been able to kill was that jumbo Sherman. At least I think it was a jumbo, and that was because I hit so low on that vehicle that it wouldn't have really mattered if it had a high explosive filler or not. Alright, let's go ahead and switch over to Finland. This is... I don't remember if this was my second or third game, but that first game on Karelia, I would have 4 kills, 0 deaths. It just got really boring there after a few minutes. This was... I actually had some fun sniping on this map. Try to engage something that's hiding behind that ridgeline. You see it pops up again. I wasn't entirely sure what it was. I just wanted to mark it on the map for my teammates so they don't get taken out. There's another vehicle that joins him. It took me a minute to realize what it was, but that's a Flak 88 bus. So he has a similar issue that I do, in that he's kind of a sniping tank as well. So it makes sense for him to be up there along with whatever else is there. And there he is. And hull break. Easy. You don't need HE filler to kill tanks. It's overrated. You just have to be lucky, I guess. And have a big ass gun. Come on, expose yourself. There we go. Got a nice chunky hit. Oh, and all we got was a commander. And judging by that little hit cam, I realized it was an ARL, a French tank. That time we got the loader, and there's a second tank that has joined him as well. I don't know if you see that to the left. That is, I believe, a KV-1, if memory serves. You don't usually think of KV-1s as being sniping tanks. I'm kind of surprised to see him up there. Yeah, it is a KV-1. Then again, you don't at least think of ARLs, or at least I don't think of ARLs as being sniping tanks either. But if memory serves, the ARL has a slow turret traverse as well. So maybe he's just trying to make use of his gun and try to mitigate the disadvantages of having that slow turret traverse. It's not a bad idea, actually. But again, a KV-1 sniping up there on the ridge, that's kind of weird, because the KV-1 doesn't have a great gun. The shell has high explosive filler, but it doesn't have a high penetration rate. I turned my attention over to the middle of the map because I saw some commotion. The heavy tank has been marked, and I don't have a good shot against anything over there. You notice that I can't turn my turret any more than it is. The turret only, or gun platform, whatever you want to call it, it only turns about 90 degrees, either left or right. So you can't fully rotate it. You have to rotate the hull itself. It's another limitation of the vehicle that you should be aware of. I don't find that it's... There we go. Somebody's back and interested in me. I think it's the KV-1. Got your breach. Good luck, buddy. You're not gonna outsnipe me. With so many shadows over there, you can't always make out what things are. And I'm just waiting for the ARL to show up again. But surely he's going to come back on something. There he comes. What is he in this time? Come on back, buddy. There you are. That is a Lorraine 155, an absolutely horrible piece of crap. That's a reward vehicle from the 2018 World War II Chronicles event. If you're ever in the market for a premium French tank, don't buy that. There's something else out there, I'm sure, at almost any tier that's better than the Lorraine 155. So we take out the cannon breech on that KV-1 for the second time. And at this time, this guy's got to be pretty upset. And I'm just trying to pour more rounds into him, hoping to get him. But what I get was actually a martyr that I never even saw. There's another vehicle down there. The 8-cap ended up being contested multiple times by people that I just never saw. Or that I couldn't get a shot on, I should say. Because these rocks here in front of me, I actually did try to drive out onto them and try to get a kind of a sniping perch, but I just could not get over those rocks. The tank just does not have the mobility, doesn't have the strength to overcome the rocks. And I think the rocks are designed not to allow people onto them unless you're in something really light and really powerful, something like a RU-251. So I would eventually make my way down towards the Alpha Cap. I knew there was a Jagdpanzer 470 or whatever it's called down here. I just didn't know where. Thought maybe he was up on the ridgeline. I looked that way, but no, he's actually much lower. I know I can't get my turret rotated around in time, so I try to get in behind these rocks, but no, he gets me a second shot, and I survive. But he doesn't survive that side shot from a Sherman. Sherman saves my life, but you can see I took multiple shots in this game, and I survived. I didn't need to respawn in the backup. This thing actually does survive pretty well against tank shells. It just doesn't work so well against machine gun fire or bombs, rockets. Aircraft are the absolute death of this thing. I accidentally deleted a recording where I got killed by a Tisma in a match. And he just completely nuked me. Literally 5 shells hit me and I just completely exploded. It was ridiculous. Aircraft are the absolute worst for this thing. Tank shells, I don't know what it is, but this thing can really survive. So the match on Finland would end with me having 4 kills as well. This one on Cuban, or Cuban, whatever you want to pronounce it, this will end up with 3 for me. I start off kind of far away from the cap, figuring we'll try and get any sort of snipers, or flankers I should say. Again, you can see the bushes in the way. Doesn't matter if you're in binoculars or if you're just in third person. Saw a vehicle that looks like a Tiger. Put a good solid shot into him. He of course retreats. I can't really see what the heck is going on here as far as the terrain. So let's take out some of these trees. Now he lost his gunner, so he's not going to pop up anytime soon. At least if he's smart. And as we find out, there's actually a huge hill here that I probably ended up shooting with my second shot. And this is where I took notice for the first time that I could actually see down into the hull of the vehicle. I could see the driver and the machine gunner through the top. That's actually a cool little thing. I don't know if that makes them easily or more vulnerable from machine gun fire from aircraft or not. I haven't played this vehicle enough to figure that out. And there, I can finally see him. I just don't know if he's got his gun aimed at me or not. So let's push him and find out. Oh, He saw me, but I saw him. Got the ammo rack on the right side of the tank, and down he goes. You don't have to have high explosive filler if you hit an ammo rack. Well, that left side flank would end up being a little bit boring for my taste, so I ended up moving a little bit closer to the cap, kind of in between the cap and their spawns, so that I could get some more engagements. We actually absolutely dominated them at the cap. Our guys did a really good job as the match would unfold. Some of the downsides to this vehicle are that the zoom is actually too good for the ballistics, so I ended up undershooting quite often in this thing. You saw it in that initial engagement. I missed my shot by quite a bit. I underestimated the range. And I've noticed other people using this have done the same thing. I watched a couple of people use this on Twitch live streaming, and often they would undershoot people. So I know it's not just me, it's just the way that the gun works and the zoom level just plays tricks on you, I guess. It reminds me of the Leopard 1, which also has a really powerful zoom for its gun. And here comes the guy, our last customer for this battle. It's a KB1. I aim fairly much center mass, trying to get the turret crew, and end up getting loader, gunner, commander. Then I aim for the driver, and end up hitting the ammo rack, which I'll take any day of the week. Just like with the Tiger, you don't have to hit, or you don't need a high explosive filler to kill a tank if you hit the ammo rack. Anyway, that would be my third and final kill on this map. So let's go ahead and go to the rewards, shall we? Only got 3 kills because it was a fairly boring battle over there on the left. 10 minutes, racked up a measly 22,000 silver lions. Not much RP because we're grinding a higher tier vehicle. But the Ram is actually a pretty good vehicle. It's far better than some of the others that we've gotten over the years. It's just got some limitations that you need to be aware of. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, click that thumbs up button, and of course if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Take care guys.